A conversation with my shadow. The evening sun dipped low, casting a long, dark silhouette on the cobblestone street. I had always noticed my shadow, but tonight it felt different, more alive, more aware. It moved as I moved, but something about its shape seemed independent. I quickened my pace, half laughing at my unease. "Running from me won't work, you know," a voice called out, low and steady, but with a strange familiarity. I froze mid-step, staring at the shadow stretching ahead of me. "Did you just speak?" "Of course," I spoke. "You're surprised?" The voice was calm, amused. "I've been with you your entire life. It was only a matter of time before you noticed." "You're my shadow," I said, unsure whether to feel scared or intrigued. "You're not supposed to talk." "Maybe you're not supposed to ignore me," it replied. The shadow rippled, its edges distorting slightly, like ink bleeding into paper. "I've been silent long enough." I crouched down, watching it warily. "Why now? Why tonight?" The shadow stretched lazily along the ground. "Because you've been avoiding me. And you're tired, aren't you? Tired of pretending, tired of carrying things you don't understand. I've waited for you to listen." A chill swept through me, though the evening air was still warm. "What do you mean, listen?" You're just there. A part of me, sure, but not. Not real." The shadow interrupted, the tone sharpening. "I am the part of you you refuse to see. Your fears, your regrets, your doubts, I carry them all so you don't have to. But you can't keep ignoring me forever." The words hit like a punch to the chest. "If that's true, then why would you want to talk? If you're holding all of that, isn't it better for me not to know?" The shadow shifted, curling upward as if it were sitting opposite me. "Better for you, maybe. But not for us. I am exhausted, and so are you. You've been stumbling forward, dragging everything you've repressed along with you, and it's slowing us down. If you keep running like this, it'll break you." I sat back, leaning against a lamppost. The sky had deepened into twilight, the light growing weaker. "So what do you want from me? To admit I'm afraid? To say I'm lost? Fine. I am. But what am I supposed to do with that?" The shadow's voice softened, almost kind. "You don't have to solve it all at once. Just stop pretending you don't feel it. Acknowledge me. Look at the parts of yourself you've shoved into the dark. Your pain, your anger, your guilt, they're not your enemies. They're part of you, just like I am." I stared at the shadow, its edges growing sharper as the streetlights flickered on. "What happens if I do?" "You grow," it replied simply. "You learn. You heal. But it won't be easy. The light you crave comes at a cost, it casts me deeper into focus. The brighter your world, the more clearly you'll see me. That's the paradox of being human." For a long moment, I was silent, my thoughts circling like leaves caught in the wind. "I don't know if I'm ready," I admitted. "No one ever is," the shadow said, almost laughing. "But you'll never be alone. Wherever you go, I'll be there, not as a burden, but as a guide. When you stumble, I'll remind you where you came from. When you fall, I'll show you how far you've risen." The words settled over me like a heavy, comforting weight. Slowly, I stood, brushing the dust off my hands. "I'll try," I said softly, looking down at the shadow, now sharp and steady beneath the glow of the lamppost. "Good," it said. "That's all I ever wanted." I began to walk, and for the first time, the shadow trailing behind me didn't feel like something to fear. Instead, it felt like a companion, a reminder that every light, no matter how bright, needs a little darkness to give it meaning.